selfish organ in the whole body. It tells you you need something when you actually it's destroying you. That's an amazing thing if you think about it. So the criminal justice system, if done correctly, if done properly, not with corruption, not with human rights abuses, if done properly, it can be a conduit to get people help, because people are often committing crimes also. So they're committing crimes under the influence of drugs, in which case they should be punished for the crime, but we should figure out, while they're in our custody, how can we help them so that when they get out, again, that's just smart. So this is the kind of nuance, the conversation we need to have. But we cannot have it when we have these outside groups telling us that nothing works and we just need to legalize drugs. 95% of kids who do not use drugs before age 21 will never use drugs. That's why prevention is important. The minute you start drinking, using drugs, they're all drugs. Some are legal, some are illegal. The brain doesn't know the difference. The minute you start, you are now at risk for many worse things happening. So if we can delay, prevent, a kid says they want to try drugs and they really want to, and they say, I want to, and I'm going to. I just say, wait. Okay, fine, but wait. Just wait. Wait until after 25 when your brain is developed. By the way, if they wait until after 25, I guarantee you they will not use. But when they're 14, their brain is not developed. This is why we all make we can all think about dumb things we did. Nobody is immune. From me to you to Barack Obama to George Bush to Bill Clinton, everybody made some bad decisions when they were young. That's the nature of brain development. Your brain is undergoing rapid growth until age 25. Bursts of growth. It's being pruned. It's learning new things. It's picking things up. This is why we learn a language much easier when you are 5, 10, 12, 15 than when you're 50, 60, 70, 80. That's the good thing about brain development being early, because you're learning things. You're a sponge. Your brain is a sponge. So when your brain is a sponge, there's good and bad. Good, learning, language, everything you're learning at school. You can absorb it. We should all try going to maybe grade 8 now. It would be very hard for us, actually, if it's new concepts. It's hard. It's not that you can't, people can learn for their whole life. Of course, we should learn, be lifelong learners. But our brains make it a lot easier when we're before 25. But that also means bad things are easier before 25. That also means if we are used to a life of violence, a life of crime, a life of addiction, a life of lying and deceit, our brain is learning these things. And it's much harder to deal with later in life. That's why childhood trauma is so important to deal with. We have to, because that trauma can and will last unless we deal with it when that person is a child. For every dollar we spend in prevention, these are the studies, you gain $12 saved in future costs. Whether that cost is treatment, whether that cost is criminal justice system, whether that cost is a car crash on the road, whether that cost is multiple times going to the doctor because of your addiction, whatever, there's many costs. But when we prevent, when we invest 1, we get 12 back. This is what we should be telling our politicians. They have to look at this data. It's very, very, very important. Let me just talk a little bit about, let me tell you what this is, and what this is, and what this is, and what this is. And this. This is the face of the most misunderstood drug in the whole world. That most misunderstood drug we call marijuana, you call marijuana, they call cannabis, they call daga, they call whatever. But the point, it's a plant that's been around for thousands of years. Of course it has been. But it has never been developed the way it is being developed now and sold in a legal, quote-unquote, market. I'm sorry to say, in my country, the United States, and my other country that I also live in, Canada, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because those two countries have in many ways, and the United States is more difficult legally to explain because it's actually illegal federally, but on the state level they tolerate it. Don't ask me about that. Don't copy that either. Don't have a law that is illegal one jurisdiction, legal in another, and no one knows what's going on except the traffickers and the people that are profiting off of our children. They know what's going on. They're doing great. They love the mismatch. But this mismatch and inconsistency is causing my country billions of dollars, and more important than billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of lives. And so we, in many of our jurisdictions in the United States, we have legalized this drug, which does this look like marijuana when you think about it? Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to be here with you. When we think of marijuana, we do not think of these items, these things, these candies, cookies, ice creams, cereals, and this, which is almost 100% pure THC. What is THC? It's the active ingredient in the marijuana plant. That's what gets you high. And we have learned, unfortunately, through agricultural methods, to extract the THC from the plant. This is not a plant anymore. This has nothing to do with a plant. It comes originally from a plant, but do you know what else is a plant? Poison ivy. That doesn't mean that it's good. Some people say, Kevin, this is cannabis, it's from God because it's a plant. No, that doesn't mean that. Yes, maybe from God, but there's a reason you should not be using it. Poison ivy, also from God. We don't want to be walking in poison oak. You know, great white sharks are also from God. I don't want to meet one, ever, if I'm swimming. My point is that we have manipulated this, mankind actually, and turned it into a very deadly, deadly drug now that's causing a lot of problems. My warning to Kenya, do not follow in our footsteps in the US and Canada what we have done. What you have to do, I just want to re-emphasize this, is invest in prevention. If you prevent a child from using drugs before age 21, they will never use drugs, most likely, in their whole life. It will save you a lot of money. $1 invested, $12 back. I don't know a better return on your investment than that. You pay 1, you get 12. Because you are not paying for the costs down the road. Enforcement is important, but it has to be paired with prevention. Actually, enforcement and prevention can work together. You know, police can be community liaisons that engender trust with the community. They will reduce crime better that way than randomly and severely. They can be in the community, enforcing the law, of course, but also becoming members of the community through prevention, outreach, the work that Slum Child Foundation, for example, is doing. That's a prime example of something that should be with law enforcement and drug prevention together. Our officials need to walk the streets of the slums that I walked yesterday. Everybody, no human being will not want to help what's happening there. And those investments will yield dividends for your country in ways you cannot even imagine. But when we go towards legalization, we're doing the opposite. We are making kids more vulnerable than ever before. We are boosting the levels of potency like we never have before. And it's a false dichotomy. We don't have to choose between legalization or just locking people up. That is a false dichotomy, as I said. Right now, the global tobacco industry is investing billions in marijuana. They need a new product. People are figuring out that if you smoke cigarettes too much, you die. So fewer people are smoking. That's good. Now, it's not good that we have to learn by dying. Can we learn before we die? That's what we have to do. I would like to learn about things before I die. That's important. So we need to not make the same mistake we made with alcohol, with tobacco. And in the United States, There are more, let me tell you what this chart, you don't have to read it, I'll just tell you what it is. More people use marijuana every day in the United States than drink alcohol every day. That's incredible. Alcohol has been legal for, alcohol has been part of our Western, at least part of Western culture for 7,000 years, before the Old Testament. It's ingrained, for better or worse. Why would we make the same mistake again? But in the United States, we have done that. And that has led to three big changes. By legitimizing marijuana, we have legitimized drug traffickers. They just have a store now. They're still drug traffickers, folks. And let me tell you, they're setting up shop in the most vulnerable parts of America. The rich communities, they don't want marijuana stores. Because they say, when's the last time somebody wanted to buy a house in a neighborhood with their family and told the house selling agent, find me a house next to a marijuana shop? No, they don't do that. Because crime goes up when you have drug shops. Real estate values go down. You don't want to be there. So they're in the poor places. Once again, the poor people are paying the price. Addiction has increased, mental health concerns. I'm not going to go through all of these statistics because there's too many. But the bottom line is, folks, our young people using since legalization has gone up. The risk has gone down. The perceived risk has gone down. Teens who use marijuana more regularly are using alcohol more regularly. That's not surprising. Folks, people don't use one drug or only one drug in addiction. It's polysubstance use. The men that I saw yesterday with the red in their eyes who were stumbling, asking, why are we here? Why are we touring the slums? Who are we? Put your phones away. They were not just using one substance. It's multiple. So of course, if you make one more substance more available, you're going to make another substance more used and available. We have seen in Canada also the levels of mental illness. Folks, schizophrenia, bipolar. How many of you work with mentally ill? Yes. So tell me how much cannabis has to do with it. Probably a lot. But in the West, where we've legalized, you should see the numbers. Schizophrenia, psychosis, mental illness. These things are increasing, skyrocketing. Driving under the influence of marijuana and alcohol, skyrocketing. Poison calls. 2-year-old babies, 1-year-old babies are accidentally ingesting these gummies, edibles. We never had edibles before legalization. I don't like drug dealers, don't get me wrong, like those who are in the underground market. But the drug dealers never made the edibles. The edibles were made by guys in suits that looked like me, who came with fancy presentations. And by the way, these same people, these European countries, are all over your continent. They're all over Africa. They're promising your government officials millions of dollars if you grow, because you happen to have weather that does grow cannabis quite easily. You know, it's like when they want to grow cannabis in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know if any of you have been to Boston. It's snowing 7 months a year. You're not growing cannabis easily there. Chicago, not happening. Northern Canada, I can guarantee you not happening. It never gets above freezing. But in regions like that, you're vulnerable. And then they're saying, no, we're only going to grow hemp. Have you heard of that? Hemp. No. You can't get high from hemp, they say. No. Thomas Jefferson was growing hemp. 2,000 years ago in the ancient Egyptian, they were growing hemp, they say. China. Let me tell you, don't fall for it. First of all, you can't tell the difference between hemp and marijuana. So forget about it, number one. Number two, they grow hemp on the outside and cannabis on the inside. And they corrupt your law enforcement. That's it. Number three, they have figured out how to make hemp intoxicating. So don't worry. You're not smoking a t-shirt, but they're chemically changing it and making it like edibles, making it smoking. And now in my country, in the United States, in the places that have not legalized marijuana, they have legalized hemp. And they're selling this stuff at gas stations to kids. And they're saying it's legal, it's hemp. It's supposed to be industrial purposes only. Don't fall for it. They are coming to your countries with millions of dollars, European business interests. I know this. Don't let them. Don't let them come to your government officials. The levels of asthma, COPD, diabetes, which is now becoming a global epidemic. The level of diabetes, fourfold increased risk. The level of lung cancer, head cancer, metals, toxic pollution from inhaling marijuana smoke now is off the chart. So I don't need to convince you. I will leave all of this data for you. It's very scary, the data on mentally ill and how this is affecting the mentally ill. Very scary. Strokes, heart attack, heart failure, 60% risk. And 1 in 3 people who use are now addicted. I had one young person, let me tell you this, tell me, Kevin, you're wrong. Dr. Sabet, you're wrong. You cannot get addicted to marijuana. That's wrong. That's a lie. I said, really? How do you know that you can't get addicted? He said, I know I will not be addicted, and I know that because I use it every single day. That's when I knew we had a real problem. I was actually working in the Obama administration when somebody told me that was one of the reasons I wanted to leave. Because when you're out of government, you can say more than when you're in government. I have to tell you a little secret. That's everywhere. And there were things I couldn't say. Now President Obama is against legalization. He could have legalized marijuana, and he had a lot of pressure. Because Colorado and Washington legalized marijuana when he was president. He had a lot of pressure to say we should legalize. And he said, I don't want to legalize because what comes next? Why not legalize crack cocaine then? If you say legalization brings it out of the shadows, then you should just legalize all the other drugs too. They're the really bad ones, right? From what we're told. So when you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you realize legalization is a bad move. We know pregnant women are being targeted, and you're going to see this in your clinics. Pregnant women are being targeted with cannabis. Why? Because they say, oh, it reduces nausea. It reduces sickness. Today's cannabis does not do that. It increases nausea. It increases your risk of what we call nonstop vomiting syndrome, hyperemesis syndrome. You should look this up. Our emergency wards in the US are full of people now they can't stop vomiting because they are taking high potency THC marijuana. It's very scary. And for a pregnant woman, we don't want to see that, especially the risk increases complications. Preterm perinatal mortality, 30% risk. Increased risk of low birth rate by 75%. Increased risk of being small for your gestational age, 57%. Higher rates of autism. You know, we're having a conversation in the United States about autism. What causes autism? I don't know if you've seen this in the news. We're not looking at marijuana. We should. Because when you see that, and we see the epigenetic factors in Dr. Stuart Rees's work you should check out from Down Under. And it's incredible to see that risk. You know, the drug traffickers have also profited from legal marijuana. Because the argument was the drug traffickers will go away. And I said, really, where will they go? Dental school? Where are they going to go? Play tennis? No. They're going to undercut the legal market. They're going to say, the government sells for $10, I'll sell for $8. The government wants to say 21 and over, 18 and over, 19 and over age. We don't have age limits. Oh, the government has a restriction because they have to look like they're doing this the right way. We don't have restrictions on advertising or anything else. So the underground market is thriving. California, you know, we have entire swaths of rural land being taken over by Chinese Communist Party interests. I just have to tell you this. No offense to my Chinese brothers and sisters, it's not their fault. But Chinese government interests, communist government interests are now buying up land. It's cheap. I don't know if they bought land here yet. You can tell me. But in Maine, it's the northernmost state in the United States, very rural. In Oklahoma, we were listening to some beautiful country music earlier. Much of that is from places like Oklahoma. That's the plains of the United States, flat. Being bought up by foreign criminal cartels, Russian mafia also. Not just Mexican mafia, them too. and they're buying this, and they're saying, we are growing legally. They give somebody $1,000, you put your name on the license, you put your name on the application. Here's $1,000. Now John Smith is the applicant, but the real people running it are not John Smith, let's just put it that way. And so this is a way to invite cartels to your country, is by legitimizing and legalizing these drugs. The last thing I want to talk about, because you are being also told we need only harm reduction. What I would call that is more extreme harm reduction. Let me tell you what harm reduction was. Harm reduction started in the beginning of the HIV epidemic. It grew out of good intentions. We wanted to stop injection drug use, so they did needles exchanges and things like that. The reality is it has turned into drug legalization, decriminalization, safe pill programs where they give you opioids. Don't take heroin, but I'll give you opioid pills. Folks, that's not better. In Vancouver, this is a very educated population, okay? British Columbia, it's a very rich population. They think they're very smart. They thought they were so smart. They said, we're going to give addicts legal drugs in pill form that are slightly less addictive than synthetic opioids like fentanyl. So they will take the legal drugs, controlled dosage, and not go and buy and take fentanyl, which kills them. Well, what do you think happened? The addicts took the pills they got for free from the government, sold them to the younger, naive users to get the money to buy the fentanyl and the synthetic opioids that are killing them. Listen, their brain doesn't want these pills. Their brain wants fentanyl. It wants the most dangerous drug that has a high probability of death, very high. It almost makes heroin look like cheese and crackers. That's how deadly synthetic fentanyl can be. So, of course, this is the way addiction works. It does not work in a rational way. So harm reduction, sometimes good intentions, I understand that, but the result is not good. So they say meet people where they're at. Have you heard this phrase? Meet people? Okay. But you know what we need to say? Yes, we will meet people where they're at, but we will not leave them where they're at. Right? Meet people where they're at. Don't leave them where they're at. Bring them to a better place. Hope, recovery, prevention, a life worth living. That's what recovery is. It's called a life beyond your wildest dreams. That's what 100 million people in the Western Hemisphere who are in recovery, that's the mantra they wake up with every day. I'm living a life beyond my wildest dreams, because the place they were at before was not a good place. So when you meet them at that horrible place, you don't just leave them there and give them free needles. You don't leave them there and just give them crack pipes. You don't leave them there and give them pills because they won't take, maybe you think they were a drug. No. You give them hope. You give them treatment. I'm very happy to see that Kenya's investment in treatment, evidence-based treatment. I have seen that. It stands out in the African Union. That's excellent. But we need to match that investment with this investment in prevention. Much better to stop before anything starts, from a cost point of view, but more importantly from a human being point of view. We have to do that. So harm reduction has a place, but it's not every place in the continuum, because they are trying to legalize drugs, many of them, when they say that. I want to fast forward this. I want to remind you, the most important slides of the day were not about marijuana. They were not about treatment. They were about prevention. Once again, preventing use before age 21 means you have saved that person's life. I got into this field when I was 14 years old. That's 31 years ago. I was 14 years old, not because I was using drugs. I never even saw, my parents don't even drink. I never saw alcohol in the house. But I saw my friends getting into trouble with drugs and having problems with drugs. And my community said, we don't have drugs here. Drugs are over there. We're the good place. And I said, no, because I know that kids are using here. And you want to say it's only in the poor areas, but it's in both. And so as a young person, there was a group, like many of the groups that you lead, that gave me a chance to kind of process what I was going through, my feelings. They started a newspaper. This is before the internet, so it was expensive to start. Now everybody's a journalist now, right? So you could start one with a free website right now as we speak. That's the difference between 1997 and now. But in 1995, 1996, those years, but it didn't matter. They had the resources, thankfully, and they started a newspaper for young people to write articles. And I started writing. That's why I did it. I didn't think this would be a profession. I was going to be a judge. I wanted to be a judge in my life, a lawyer or a judge. And I was going to do that. Some people said, they offered me money, run for Senate, run for... I don't want to do that because I'm living the life beyond my wildest dreams to be working in this field with all of you, alongside heroes like you. But it was heroes like you that gave me a chance when I was 14. I have a program for you. Come after school and write for our newspaper. That was very simple. And that's where my passion began. That definitely prevented me from ever using like my friends did. But it also allowed me to be a role model when I was 17, 18. It allowed me to learn these things as I grew older. It allowed me to work for Bill Clinton when I was 20. George Bush when I was 23. Barack Obama when I was 28. Because people like you gave me a chance, and they were supported by our government. That's how it worked. Our government gave organizations a chance to do incredible work, and the organizations led by the adults, many of whom are like you in this audience, gave me as a young person a chance. So that's what I'm imploring you to do. Work, I saw those future doctors in the slums yesterday. I saw them. I think I saw the future president of Kenya there. We have to give every single person a chance. And that's exactly what you are doing. So it is such an honor to have been with you. Don't fall for the lies from legalization. We have so many resources for free that we want you to use. We have created a blueprint for effective drug policy. It sounds very official too. Listen, two can play at that game, right? And so we have this for you. We have all of the SAM resources on cannabis, on marijuana, all the latest data. We're blessed to work with the top researchers around the world that give us all the data, and we update it in real time. I work my staff very hard, and they wish they could be here too. They're very jealous of me that I get to come to Kenya. I sent them all the pictures last night for them it was Sunday at 3 in the morning, but that's okay. I sent them all the pictures. I probably woke them up. That's okay. About what I saw yesterday, the heartbreak that I saw, but also the hope. The hope in Emma's eyes. And I can't wait to show my 6-year-old girl her picture. The hope that I saw in Rhoda's eyes, mother HIV positive, never had a father, 4 other siblings, living in a place a third of the size of this carpet, but she was smiling. And she had hope. And that gave me hope. That gave me hope that we have to invest in these children. Why are we doing this if it's not for that? And I know you who are underpaid, understaffed, overworked, underappreciated, away from your families. I know that you believe in this too in your heart, and that is why you are at this.
Let's give Kevin another round of applause. I told you that you made a good decision to be here. Do you agree with me? Yes. Is somebody still doubting? Okay. So, as we continue with this session, first I want to take this opportunity to recognize the presence of Isaac Mwaura, government spokesman in Kenya. Can we just give him a hand of clap? Others will be done later. Maybe you get an opportunity to hear from him, but we are very happy and humbled to see you here today. And we look forward to hear from you. So at this point in time, because time is gone, I just want to welcome Dr. Kasire and Kevin Sibet, the platform, just for 2 minutes each. I said I will have to ask you a question. You will not run away from the question. As we do that, and I pray some of our who are to help us to take this podium, Eric. question for you.
Thank you, our chair. With all due respect and the protocol being observed, drug harm actually goes beyond the normal rhetoric about drug abuse. And when you talk about drug harm, we are talking about drug use, we are talking about misuse, we are talking about trafficking. We are not only looking at individuals, but also we are looking at the harm which is caused to individuals and in the society. And when you begin to dig deep into what is actually drug harm, you begin to see the root causes, issues of poverty, issues of unemployment, issues of families which are breaking down, issues of young people being out of school and all that. And what does that mean? That you begin to look at drug harm primarily from the causal point of view. You begin to look at the causal point of view than looking at symptoms. And many times we want to say, okay, there's a problem here, but we fail to go behind and say, what is the cause, and what is the magnitude, what is the effect, and what can we do to intervene? And then that implies that there are many actors who should be involved in the interventions, not only NGOs and social workers, but there are a lot of actors who should come into play to address drug harm.
Thank you, Daktari. To Kevin, I would like, I also have a question for you. How would you describe the current global landscape of cannabis legalization and regulation, and what major misconceptions exist about its impact on health and safety?
Thank you. Well, one misconception is that everywhere is legalizing cannabis and we need to get with the times. The reality is they're not. Europe, the Netherlands has had informal legalization for 50 years, and no other country has followed that. I mean, Malta has a little bit, but that's not super relevant. Germany just voted 50 years later. Germany is trying something, but now the new government is saying we don't want it. So if this was such a good idea, this should have swept the world by now. I am concerned with countries in Africa now. I am concerned with South Africa. I think in South Africa they were tricked by saying that it's medicine. Let me tell you something, we don't smoke medicine.
Where sometimes the budgets are not there. Sure. So how best can we go about this? This goes to the doctors in the house and the colleagues in the room.
I think you say you want to address all of it. The illicit is a problem, the legal is a problem. They're both a problem. They both require investments. They share many similarities, some differences because the markets are different. But that's also a false dichotomy when they say licit and illicit. What are you doing about illicit? Prevention is licit and illicit. I mean, the kids and your brain, it doesn't care what's legal and not legal. It's just what's acting in the body. And so I think you're working on both. And that's what you have to do. But I do want to, I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident, but I did want to answer the question about harm reduction, the bill. And I have not read this bill, so I cannot comment on a bill I have not read, in all fairness. Look, there's a place for harm reduction. Of course there's a place for it. What I'm saying, though, is it cannot be the backbone and the only investment that a government makes. Because that would be like if we said this. We're going to open McDonald's everywhere and high grease, high fat burgers everywhere, but we're going to have a heart machine installed in every McDonald's, and we're going to teach you how to bring somebody back to life if they have a heart attack, and that's our public health policy towards diet. Now, we would say, wait a minute, that's maybe one side of it. Sure, let's make sure everybody knows how to have a defibrillator for the heart, bring somebody back to life if they have a heart attack, absolutely. But we would want to prevent the heart attack from happening in the first place. And when they start having problems in the beginning of, before having a heart attack, you don't just go from no problem to heart attack. Before that, we want to intervene early to talk about diet, exercise, maybe don't go to McDonald's every day, that sort of thing, so that we can prevent the most expensive, difficult, costly thing, which would be to have a heart machine installed in every burger stand in the country. So you need the heart machine, for sure. It'd be great to have as many as you can have. But you don't want that to be the backbone of the policy. And so there's a place for harm reduction, mainly in drugs. The place for harm reduction is to really engage with a population that is very, very, very difficult to reach. So when somebody is very difficult to reach because they are so far with their addiction, obviously when you say to them, I want to talk to you about prevention, well, that's a little late. Then when you say to them, I want you to go to treatment tomorrow, I can take you somewhere, which by the way, do you have free and available treatment everywhere for anyone who wants it here or no? So you're like us in America, we don't either. So we need to build up that capacity, first of all. If we're actually going to send anybody to treatment, we have to have somewhere to send them. But let's just imagine you had treatment for everybody, free, the best in the world. If somebody was addicted and very at the end of the spectrum, they're not going to just say, sure, I'll come to treatment, I'm ready to go, let's go. Their brain has tricked them. Their brain is saying, I'm not going anywhere. This is great, what's happening. So harm reduction can be a tool to engage that person and say, okay, I know you're not ready for treatment this minute. I know you want a clean syringe because your veins are completely bloody. They're totally bruised, shot everywhere. Your needle has been used 30 times. It's infected with disease. I can give you that needle, but you need to listen to me. You need to come here every day. I'm not just going to give it to you, go run home. You need to be with me. We're going to talk about this. And that is the beginning of having the relationship. Sorry to use the example. Having the relationship to be able to engage and then say, aha, I think you're probably ready for maybe a little bit of help. Let's go together to the clinic. I will walk you through it. It's a process. And everybody's recovery road is different. Some people will say, I am ready, actually. I look horrible, but I'm ready. My life is destroyed. I'm ready. Others will say, go away. Get away. I'm not ready. I'm fine. We all know the uncle who says they can stop drinking tomorrow that cannot. They think they're fine. So I'm sorry to extend it, but my point is there is a place, but it cannot be the cornerstone. Thank you.
Thank you. I know this topic is so interesting and we can talk until tomorrow. But I want to take this opportunity just to give also Dr. Kasile in one sentence, just say the last point, then Kevin in one sentence, so that we are able to move to another session before I invite my colleague.
Okay, following up on the theme of the summit and the framing of our interventions, I think most governments have been doing a lot of harm reduction. And the law and the bill which has come is not bad. But where is it concentrating? What percentage is it putting on each sector? Because when you look at the spectrum of drug abuse, look at prevention, look at treatment, look at recovery, look at integration. Where are they concentrating? I think this is where you need to help them to open their eyes. That how much should we put on treatment and how much should we invest in prevention? Once you help them to see that actually it's the spectrum and their emphasis on a small piece, then we are missing a point. Help them to see that they can do, that government actually already is doing it, but you want to invest more in prevention than concentrating on this. And what are their facilities here? Their facilities. Kenya, they are doing very well. Just help them to see that actually they will earn more if they invest in prevention. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin.
I want to reemphasize the investment in prevention, mainly because it's cheap.
You greet 5 people. By the time you're done, I'll be up here ready for the opening ceremony. Sasa, I'm counting. Nini? Noi. Nairobi.
2025 exclamation. George has disappeared. Tomorrow I have two sessions. I moderate a session and I will be speaking in another session. Both of them tomorrow. But you'll be here tomorrow, right?
Okay. Hello? 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 If you can hear my voice, say Jambo.
Jambo.
If you can hear my voice, say Jambo.
Jambo.
Yeah, now you can sit down. So, ladies and gentlemen, your tea is ready, but we decided to have the official opening, which will take very less time, so that when we break for tea, you enjoy the tea. We don't want you to get injured or hurt or in one way or the other, then you start saying, you know, that conference. When we invite you next time, you say, I will not come again. Anyway, that aside, I'm in committee for the Afri-Asia Drug Prevention and Treatment Summit. This is the inaugural. It has never been done. So I think that before I move further, I will invite members of the steering committee, the people we've worked with, so that I will just say their name, because time is really running. I'll just say their name as they sit down. So if you happen to be a member of the steering committee, please come so that these people see you and they don't give me all credit. Yeah. You know, I'll take all credit if you don't want. Yes. Yes, I was told that, you know, being a doctor, you have to call people by their title, doctor. So I will have to respect that. I don't know where to start. In absentia, I think I need to acknowledge our good friend Diana Joseph from India, because the idea was shared between myself, Benjamin, and Diana, and it gave birth to this. She's online and we're really trying to see how she's going to join us. So you need to appreciate her, give her all the credit. Then right next to me is Bishop. The name is Titus, Bishop Titus from India. He has been part of our team. Then we have Nkatha from Graceful Youth. We have Dr. Susan Gitau from Elewa Ulevi Consultancy. Please get it right. Elewa Ulevi Consultancy. Sasa, there are people who are asking, how should I Elewa Ulevi? That is a discussion for another day. Then we have Dr. Pamela from ISAP Kenya. She's the president of ISAP Kenya. So don't start asking, oh, you know, we have another president. No, she's for ISAP. And then we have Sonali from APAR Foundation and BAPS. So
they were seeing everything going on and they wanted to award the secretariat and in particular the chair. So and the chair does not know. So George, your chair, thank you for steering the committee. I'd like to welcome our team from Sri Lanka to present with you a gift because they have not seen something like this happen before. And please come forward. And maybe they're trying to push that the next Afri-Asia needs to be in Sri Lanka, perhaps. So let's give the team from Sri Lanka. They told me to keep a secret. It was the hardest secret to keep. So very quickly, thank you so much, Daktari. Please come and you can. Okay, he doesn't want to speak. Please come here. Award him. Wow. Oh, you were getting one for me? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, thank you very much.
So the surprise for you.
Good. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. All the energy goes to all of us. Yes.
That's a really surprise.
Oh. Okay.
Sri Lankan natural gem.
Wow.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Good. We are full of surprises. So
funny.
I'll take minimal time. I was told to do a written speech, which is not my tradition. I speak naturally, but you'll bear with me. If you hear me slumber a little bit or stagger a little bit, I'm not used to this thing. So distinguished guest, honorable representative from the government of Kenya, invited guests, delegates, our chief guest, and partners from all over the world, Africa, Asia, and everywhere. Good morning. It is with great humility and heartfelt gratitude that I welcome you all. A gathering that stands as a symbol of hope, unity, and it always seems impossible until it is done. It is the same thing when we started planning for this thing. What are you trying to show us? But this is the result. And today, what felt impossible has become a very big reality. Africa and Asia, two continents, rich in diversity and resilience, have come together here in Nairobi, united by one mission: drug demand reduction. Drug demand reduction without borders. This dream did not just begin in a boardroom or a policy discussion. It began in the shanties of Korogocho, where I was born and brought up. One of the most improvised neighborhood, a place where dreams struggles to survive, yet where faith and hope remain unshaken. It was here in the narrow streets and humble homes that the first spark was lit, the dream that one day the world would come together to speak about prevention, treatment, and transformation. And today, that dream has brought the world to Nairobi. I think we need to appreciate ourselves for being here. We have put a light And not just only a light of hope, healing, and global unity. Desmond Tutu at some point said, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. And that is the message that I know we are carrying home to many people who are suffering from drug addiction around the world. They cannot see it, but we are the hope that they're looking for. We are the light that they're looking for, so that at some point their life will change. This summit is the light, a beacon that says no child should perish in silence, no family should lose hope, and no community should be left behind. But this dream did not just come to life through my strength alone. It took a family, it took a community, it took a team that you've seen here that believed that when the road was rough, they were able to walk with us. To all the members of the steering committee, allow me to say thank you so much. It has not been an easy journey, being away, coming back, going, and there are people who are doing some very wonderful job, left, right, and center. You have walked with us, you've held our hands, you've been there for us to see this journey work out. Along the way, things didn't work out and we felt like we were giving up. Diana became sick, I also became sick. At some point, some of you were even reaching out, if the chair is sick, will we come to Kenya really? But we are here, standing strong, making that this message is fully delivered. This moment belongs to you, the steering committee. Your dedication, faith, sacrifice have built this platform that now welcomes the world to Nairobi. I hope next time it will be in Sri Lanka, Egypt, South Africa, whatever, because we've received a lot of people expressing interest that they would want the next Afri-Asia to be in their country. To my good mentor, Dr. Rogers Kasire, this is the guy who has held my hand all along. I truly give you all the credit. You really hold me, and I'm here because of you. Kevin, whenever there is a wave of legalization and a lot of people ask, where do I consult? He has been another great pillar in my life. And my daughter, I also have to appreciate her. She's somewhere in the crowd. I can't see her. She's somewhere. She has been very instrumental to me. When she's around, she will just wave. From time to time, your words kept on reminding me to stay focused, keep the faith, and never give up. You have been more than a mentor. You have been a pillar of strength that I'm truly, truly grateful. As we stand here today, I'm reminded that this journey that started from the slums of Korogocho has reached a global stage. And it was not by chance. It is because destiny that was shaped by prayers, perseverance, and purpose made it possible. And through it all, I have one conviction. Whatever I do for the next generation. I might not be there with the next generation. I might not be there with my daughter or my son around, but if I'm doing for someone's child, someone will have to stand in for my child at some point. And that is the message that you also need to take home. Don't look at the number of people that you're working it out for. Look at who will stand in when you're not there for your child. I believe that one day someone will rise and change the world for my children because I choose to serve others today. To our partners, the Office of the Government Spokesman, NACADA, in absentia, African Union knows what we are doing, United Nations, Office of Drugs and Crime, they are with us and they are holding us in prayers and looking at this success that I know at some point they will also continue working with us. I truly, truly appreciate the international agencies. I've seen Green Crescent here, I've seen ISAP here, and all of us who are here, Blue Cross. I truly, truly appreciate for all that you've done to ensure that this works out, and for the partnership. And I think it has been noted that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, finish. Go together. So we are going together. This is the inaugural. We are looking forward. You should be prepared. You might be coming to your country. We are the Gen Zs of Kenya, so we are coming. And the Gen Zs don't give, they say once, and that is the way to go. To the young people who are also in the room and those who are watching, You are not the problem, you are the promise. The promise that the world is looking for. The promise that will change the future of what we are looking for. The promise that we'll be able to fulfill the dream of drug demand reduction without borders. At some point, Kofi Annan once said, young people, you should be at the forefront of global change and innovation. I challenge each and every one of you who are here. You might be numbers in terms of age, they've gone, but you need to understand, age is just but a number. Your heart. Rogers works with a lot of young people in Uganda. He's still very young. So I'm still challenging him and all of us in the room that we still need to stand up and be able to be on the forefront. This summit belongs to you. It gives you energy, ideas, hope, and it is the heartbeat of the movement, not only in Africa, but the entire world. We are changing the world, and we are the people. There is no one. We cannot talk about people who are not here. We are the people. As we begin this 2 days dialogue, let us remember the true prevention begins with compassion. A true treatment begins with understanding. Every life is a victory. Every person healed is a story. Every child saved is a legacy preserved. Mahatma Gandhi said that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself. Nairobi Drug Demand Reduction Declaration, whereby we will be coming. I think I will bring it to that. I think they are invite the representative from BAPS to say a word. And yeah, for issues of drug prevention. So for your information also, as he prepares that, on the third day, we will have, there is another group that will go to visit their temple. And then we will have other people who will get an opportunity to preempt everything. But as you sign up to those groups, make sure that you fit in where it fits most. Thank you very much. Okay.
They are ready.
Respected delegates, honorable dignitaries, spiritual fellow, all protocols observed. As my colleague George just mentioned, we saw lots of facts and figures about what the topic that we are discussing here can do to us. But let's just take a moment to reflect on the place that we are currently sitting in. We have people from all walks of life, NGOs, multinationals, spiritual heads. And as we look at the cross, the Holy Cross, we are assured that we are not alone in this fight, and we are all on this together. Whichever spectrum we come from, our child, the next generation, could be a victim of that. So I'd like to congratulate the steering committee for choosing this very fitting location for this summit. So let's give them a big round of applause. As we have heard this many times, we are very, very short of time. For the next part of the presentation, I'd like you to open your minds and hearts and see this topic from faith-based organization. As George mentioned, we represent the BAPS. And I would like to invite a spiritual speaker who is an Oxford University graduate and had his book on the Hindu tradition and values published by the Cambridge University. He's currently based in London, but he's an advocate of this topic. So we'll take a moment to listen to His Holiness. Thank you.
Honorable delegates, esteemed faith leaders, government representatives, and dear friends. It is a profound honor to join you today from London at the Afri-Asia Drug Prevention and Treatment Summit 2025, a gathering that reflects our shared commitment to protecting the dignity, health, and future of our communities. I bring warm greetings and blessings from His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj and the global BAPS Swaminarayan Hindu Fellowship, which is deeply committed to nurturing values, character, and service across continents. This summit is more than a conference. It is a movement that recognizes the urgency of addressing addiction, not only as a public health crisis, but as a moral and spiritual challenge. And it is here, in Nairobi, that Africa and Asia unite to chart a new path forward, a path rooted in compassion, in collaboration, and in cultural wisdom. Addiction is not merely a chemical dependency. It is a symptom of a deeper disconnection. Disconnection from purpose, from family, from community, and from the very sacredness of life itself. It affects not only the individual, but it ripples through families, communities, and across generations. In both Africa and Asia, we see the growing burden of substance abuse, especially and most tragically amongst our youth. The statistics are indeed sobering, but behind every number is a soul seeking hope. And that hope must begin with prevention. Prevention through awareness, education, and early intervention. That by far is more effective and humane than treatment alone. And more than that, prevention is, it's not just a strategy, it is a value, a belief system. It is the belief that every child deserves a life of dignity, every youth deserves guidance, and every family deserves peace. In the Hindu tradition, the human body is revered as a temple, a sacred vessel for service, devotion, and self-realization. To harm it through substance misuse is to dim the divine light within. Addiction is not just a physical or psychological struggle, it is a spiritual imbalance. Healing must therefore be holistic. It must include self-awareness, it must include moral discipline, and it must include spiritual nourishment. Our scriptures teach us that these values are universal: self-control, purity, compassion, and service. These aren't just religious ideals. They are protective factors. They build resilience, they guide choices, they anchor our lives. At BAPS, we have seen firsthand the transformative power of values-based living. Through satsang, or spiritual fellowship, individuals find belonging and purpose. Through seva, selfless service, they discover dignity and joy. And through the guidance of our Guru, they find clarity and strength. One of our most impactful initiatives is Ghar Sabha, a family assembly held regularly at home. In Ghar Sabha, families gather to pray, to reflect, and to discuss moral lessons. It is a space of love, learning, and listening. Our Guru, His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj, has emphasized this repeatedly, that Ghar Sabha strengthens family bonds. It fosters open communication. It creates a nurturing, safe environment that naturally discourages substance abuse and negative influences. Prevention begins in the home, where values are lived, not just taught, but lived and reinforced daily. Our BAPS youth programs where they mentor with mentoring initiatives and volunteer networks that offer young people a sense of purpose, discipline, and belonging. All these are no longer just luxuries, they are lifelines. We believe that faith-based organizations have a vital role in prevention. Not because we have all the answers, by no means, no we don't, we're learning. But because we offer something essential. We offer hope, we offer values, and we offer community. So let us build partnerships between faith institutions, government agencies, and civil society. Let us promote prevention through moral education, family support, and community engagement. Let us recognize that addiction prevention is not just a medical issue, it is a human issue. And so it requires a human response. Today, we invite each of you delegates to carefully consider what values are we cultivating in our homes, in our schools, in our societies? What messages are we sending to our youth, not just through our words, but through our actions? Let us invest in prevention, not only through policies and programs, but through people. Let us empower families, uplift communities, and inspire youth. Let this summit be remembered not only for its discussions, but for its decisions. Decisions that protect the vulnerable, that honor the sacred, and that build a future free from addiction. In closing, I offer the words of our beloved Guru, His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, the creator of the beautiful BAPS Swaminarayan Hindu Mandir in Nairobi. He lived and taught that in the joy of others lies our own. May we find joy in healing others. May we find strength in unity. And may we walk together, Africa and Asia hand in hand, as torchbearers of hope, faith, healing, and humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The chair of the parliamentary. Yes, if the video is ready. I think this is 3 minutes, only 3 minutes. Or okay, as they fix that, we have the representative of the Secretary General for the Green Crescent, the International Federation for the Green Crescent, Ergin. Maybe you can come and say a word. They've been very supportive to us, a number of us. We were in Turkey just the other day. I came in on Sunday, Jana. So they've been very instrumental in ensuring that this journey continue, and they're doing a good job. So Ergin, maybe if you can just say a word as because he said he was not prepared for this. Yes. Do you have a microphone for him? Just to say hi to the delegates as we...
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. Right. Hi everyone, distinguished guests and dear friends. It's really nice to be again in Africa and first time in Kenya. I'm representing International Federation of Green Crescents, which has been taking its roots from Turkish Green Crescents, which has been founded in 1920, which is 105 years ago. We work on prevention and recovery on drugs, alcohol, tobacco, gambling, gaming, so chemical and behavior addictions at the same time. We are operating in 65 countries and solutions locally, regionally, and internationally. Actually, addiction is seems to be a problem of the individual. However, it's a problem and the pain of the family and the community, even the country, and even try to combine the continents together like Africa and Asia, that we try to figure out how we can struggle issues. I'm coming from Istanbul, which also connects, as you know, two continents, Europe and Asia. And I can say that as we also have the officials in here, addiction prevention and recovery cannot be handled only by the civil society, and even not can with the governments or even the international organizations. So we have to find a way to work together, starting from Africa and from the other continents, but we have to think internationally and act locally, but we need the same solutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the video of the chairman of the... Okay. Which one? Okay. That is nice. Maybe we will play the video at the end. I think that is the only video we have. I will invite a very good friend of mine, my namesake. We worked with him a number of journeys, and he has seen me grow. Allow me to welcome George Murini from Colombo Plan to give a few remarks. When you do your trainings and everything on drug prevention, treatment, and the rest, this is the man to watch. And the good thing is that he's also from Kenya like me, and I don't want to say much. So after him, then if the video will be ready, well and good. If film to be ready, we will invite NCCS, and then we continue with the protocol. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George, my namesake. And then in the interest of time, I got a number of things that I was going to say. I think I'll put them in my presentation. I have a presentation in the afternoon and tomorrow morning. Again, we can even combine those presentations and do my presentation tomorrow morning. So I just want to say that in the spirit of African hospitality, we highly invite, or we highly welcome all of you who are from America, all those who are from Asia Pacific region, all those who from the European countries. We highly welcome you to Africa. Welcome. Those of you from other parts of Africa, we also highly welcome you. We've realized that delegates from other different parts of the continent where we operate, and I think we'll be speaking about that later on. I also want to extend a word of appreciation, a word of congratulations to the team, the coordinating team, which had all the different organizations which have been listed here. And I want to say for truth, this is the first summit of its kind. It is the first summit of its kind. The closest we came was when we had what we're calling Africa and Middle East Congress of Addiction, which we call AMICA. That is the closest we came with. But to bring the Asian countries and African countries, particularly to deal with prevention, is the first of its kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you sit there, you just need to know that this is a historic moment. It may not look, but it is a historic moment. And from the program I've seen, it's extremely rich, particularly on issues of prevention, on issues of treatment, and issues of recovery. My challenge to the committee as I sit is that make sure that we are very definite what are the outcomes of this meeting. Secondly, we want to be very, very sure what are the resolutions, and then most importantly, what are the recommendations you're making for the government and for the civil societies. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to remind you that Asia, or the Asians, constitute about 59% of the world population. Africans constitute about 19% of the world population. If you combine the two, we have 78% of the world. We are the world. We are the world. So if we get it right, the world gets it right. Unfortunately, if we get it wrong, we get it. Everything also goes wrong. So ladies and gentlemen, I wish to say God bless Asia, God bless Africa, God bless the whole world.
Thank you so much, my namesake. As I said, we lead by being an example. My daughter is over there. I think she needs to come so that, yes, I have to be a proud father, right? Come. She just came from school the other day, so we've not even met, interacted that much.
Because I was in Istanbul, I came in and I came in yesterday late to the house and, do you want to say something? No, just say hi.
Can't hear you.
Okay. No, you don't want to introduce yourself, just saying your name.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
I'm called Natasha.
Just a bit. I think this is a privilege for you. You need to be up.
Hi again. I'm called Natasha Auma, the daughter to George.
Which George?
George with daddy.
Are you schooling?
Yes, I'm schooling. I'm in high school. At school, it's Yaya.
Okay.
When we are in the house, she's very vocal. I don't know. Maybe she's afraid of the delegates here. Now, because I want to hand this to the government, and when I hand it over to the government, I will have to sit down. So don't expect to see me back. But before I do that, is the video ready? No. So we'll see how to sort it out. But allow me to recognize the following institution or country or whatever, the way you'll call it. If I mention your country, you give them a very big clap, right? Kenya, yenyu tutapanga baadaye kwanza. So let us give a very good applause to the United States of America. Then we have Jordan. We have Uganda. Oh, I can see another one over here. And then, to Australia. To Zambia over there. To Tanzania. I can see Tanzania. Brazil, Italy. Which other country? Turkey. Norway. Yes. Which other country? Turkey. Where is, Turkey. Then there is Singapore. Which country? India. Nigeria. Which other country? Somali. Which other one? Malawi. Germany. Netherlands, right? Yes. I've said them. Singapore, right? Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Which other country have I forgotten? Zambia. Yes. South Africa. Kenya. Okay. I thought maybe I was still in Turkey. I didn't want to recognize Kenya, but I'm back in my homeland. So, to Kenya. I know some of the delegates were not able to come in due to, there was someone who had a burial along the way, something happened, government changed things, but it is what it is. We have to continue. Allow me also to recognize the Nakada of Tanzania. I don't know the name, but here in Kenya we call them Nakada. So the Nakada of Tanzania. Where are they? Yes, stand up, government representatives. So we are not only civil society. Thank you so much. And we had the Nakada of Uganda. Are they here? They confirmed. NDA. Are they here? Because someone reached out to me and they told me they were coming. Maybe they're on the way. Yeah. And then we have our host, the Kenyan Nakada. So Nakada is the agency that deals with drugs here. When I see you, just wave. I know you will speak. So if we see you with a bottle of something and some smoke coming, we will not even fight. We'll tell them to do their work. All right. So without much ado, allow me to invite the representative of the CEO, National Council for Children's Services, to come over, who will introduce Nakada. Nakada will introduce the chief guest, and then we will proceed. We have apologies from other entities from government that are not yet here, but because it's live, I have to say so that they don't come on my neck, you did not recognize us. Is that okay? So once you're done, we will step out for tea, and then feel free to walk through the stands around here. Nakada is the first one. Government, Pana Mchezo. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Our guest, Honorable Maura, CEO, Nakada, Mr. Anthony, delegates from Africa and across Asia, good morning. Good morning. It's indeed wonderful to note that the whole world is represented here. And for us, we really look forward to a solid declaration that will help us, address the menace around drug and substance abuse. Services, NCCS, and our Director Nicholas. We are here to represent our CEO, Mr. Abdinur Mohammed, who was not able to join us, but he sends his warmest regards to all of you. Have we received? Yes. Thank you so much. Now, I very much want the presenters on what they have spoken about prevention, being very, very critical in tackling the drug and substance abuse. I once had a privilege to visit a drug den some years back, and I can tell you it was pathetic because we had children being raised in such an environment. And science has taught us that the first 1,000 days of a child's upbringing, basically up to 8 years, are very, very critical for a child because that is the time when the brain and the neurons are fast developing. So whatever we subject that child to in those very foundational years, sorry about that, will go a long way in informing what type of a child that person becomes in future. So ensuring that prevention messages are saturated in all our homes, our communities, our environment is very, very critical to be able to really try and address the issue of drug and substance abuse. So allow me to kindly read remarks from my CEO. I'm not adding anything or subtracting anything. Distinguished delegates, esteemed policymakers, partners from Africa and Asia, representatives of international organizations, civil society, youth, advocates, and all participants, good morning. It's a great honor to join you today for the official opening of the Afri-Asia Drug Prevention Summit, an important platform for continental and intercontinental collaboration in addressing one of the most pressing challenges of our time, substance abuse, and its far-reaching impact on individuals, families, and societies. I wish to commend the Slum Child Foundation and its partners for convening this summit under the timely and profound theme, Drug Demand Reduction Without Borders. This theme captures the essence of our shared responsibility, reminding us that the drug menace is not confined by geography, gender, or age, and that our response must equally transcend institutional and national boundaries. Across Africa and Asia, the tide of substance use and addiction continues to rise, threatening the health, safety, and future of our communities, especially our children and young people. The proliferation of new psychoactive substances, coupled with the easy accessibility of alcohol and other harmful substances, has left many of our youth vulnerable to exploitation, school dropout, mental health challenges, and conflict with the law. Council for Children's Services, we are particularly concerned about the intersection between drug abuse and child protection. Substance use among children is both a symptom and a driver of deeper social challenges like poverty, neglect, trauma, and social exclusion. Addressing drug demand, therefore, is not just a matter of public health, it's a matter of child rights and social justice. The African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, to which Kenya and most of your countries are signatories, obligate us to safeguard children from all forms of abuse and harmful practices, including exposure to drugs. It is within this framework that the Council, working with government agencies, county government, civil society, and development partners, continue to strengthen community-based child protection systems, promote psychosocial support, and enhance access to early intervention and rehabilitation services for children in need. However, we recognize that this fight cannot be won in isolation. It requires multi-sectoral collaboration across border cooperation and collective data-driven innovations. For instance, community-based prevention models emerging from parts of Asia can inform Africa interventions focused on youth empowerment and family resilience. Likewise, Africa's strong traditions and community solidarity and peer-led advocacy can inspire approaches that place social inclusion at the heart of prevention efforts. A truly borderless response to drug demand reduction must be It must integrate, one, prevention and awareness, as has been said, and community awareness campaigns that equip young people with knowledge, values, and resilience. Reintegration and empowerment, very critical, supporting recovery through vocational training, mental collaboration, fostering cross-country research, data sharing, and joint policy frameworks that respond to emerging renting programs and social safety nets to education reforms and digital safety initiatives. We believe that early unlocked and a family strengthened. As we gather here today, I urge us to reaffirm three core principles: solidarity, shared responsibility, and human dignity. Solidarity reminds us that no nation can fight this battle alone. Shared responsibility calls upon all sectors like health, education, justice, and social protection to work hand in hand. And human dignity demands that we treat those affected by substance use not with punishment or stigma, but with compassion and hope. Let this summit serve as a platform for fostering stronger continental alliances, creating innovative prevention strategies, and amplifying youth voices. Let it also challenge us to invest in prevention as a cornerstone of public safety, economic development, and national well-being. To our youth present here today, you are not just beneficiaries of these efforts. You are leaders and change makers. Your creativity, energy, and advocacy can transform communities and reshape narratives around drug use. We count on you to be the torchbearers of a drug-free generation. In closing, let us never lose sight of our moral compass, guided by the timeless words of Nelson Mandela. History will judge us by the difference we make in the everyday lives of our children. Let us remember that every life saved from the grip of addiction is a victory for humanity. Together, Africa and Asia can stand as a united front, sharing knowledge, compassion, and determination to achieve drug demand reduction without borders. May this summit inspire enduring partnerships, concrete actions, and renewed hope for our children and the future generations. I thank you all. May I now invite the CEO Nakada, Mr. Anthony, to come and speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much. Our guest of honor, the government spokesperson, Dr. Honorable Isaac Maura, our great partners in the room, prevention champions, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Jambo. Asante. My name is Anthony Omerikwa. I lead the management team in NACADA, but because of other exigencies of duties, he was unable to be here. Before I begin, voice, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I assure you my enthusiasm for this Asia-Africa collabo is at its all-time high. I'm truly delighted and deeply honored to join you at this first ever Afri-Asia Summit and Drug Prevention. This is a momentous event in the history of prevention, more so on this side of the globe. A heartfelt appreciation will surely go to the Slum Child Foundation and partners who played a very critical role in ensuring that this day is a success. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important gathering, and it's a critical milestone that starts us off to a journey. I'm sure if we had more summits like this, I'd think twice about working hand in hand to confront the global challenge of alcohol and drug. Pride in collaborating with like-minded organizations from both the public and the private sector. Substance abuse remains a major concern globally, and this reached between 15 and 64 are using drugs, which represents about 20% increase in children as young as 6 years are being introduced to drugs. 6 years. Homework, not hangover. And this is a call to action on the same. Controlled substances. Just over the weekend, a multi-agency operation led by the Kenya Navy, and therein they had over a ton of what is suspected to be methamphetamine. That did me in terms of the cold I think I have. NACADA was part of the operation. But jokes aside, this incident is a very stark reminder of the magnitude of the threat that faces us. This is not just a story in the daily today and tomorrow. Its impact is alarming. The scourge that it has caused to our people is alarming. And this is evidenced by the people who end up in our rehabilitation centers. Ladies and gentlemen, while this summit focuses on prevention, we recognize that drug control is a holistic continuum. You can't talk about prevention without talking about suppression. They are intertwined, and we need to do an end-to-end intervention for all the challenges. As the national focal point for drug control in Kenya, NACADA has developed a range of guidelines and frameworks to support prevention and management of alcohol and drug abuse in schools, in the workplace, and within communities. We stand by the timelines, the timeless wisdom, and the mantra that prevention is better than cure. But truly, it is far more effective to do prevention, both in terms of costs and the impact thereafter. So prevention, prevention, prevention. And to achieve meaningful change, I call upon partners to intensify the efforts that they are already putting in prevention programs. This requires not only financial resources, but also a strong human resource base in the form of capacity. Capacity to execute the thoughts and the projections that we have in mind. At NACADA, we are committed to building this capacity, and we continue to roll out the UPC trainings, and we have established systems for accrediting addiction counselors. I encourage as many partners as possible to take up this so that our prevention and treatment services remain world-class, evidence-based, and sustainable. I'm currently a UTC student, and I've just realized I don't know what the lecturer will say. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude before my voice. And as we begin this important summit, let us remember prevention is not an event. It is a total commitment. It requires all of us to raise awareness, unsung champions on prevention who keep our communities safe every day. They are our unsung heroes. We each have a responsibility to stand up and safeguard our communities, to protect our young people, and to secure the future of all of us and give us hope. Thank you for your attention and for your presence and for your passion in this very noble cause that is becomes host. Let me say, God bless you and God bless your work. And importantly, it is my humble duty to invite our chief guest, the government spokesperson, Honor.
Good afternoon. Make sure you say hi to one or two people. How are you? Okay, you can be seated. Distinguished delegates, esteemed experts, government representatives, development partners, civil society leaders, and members of the state, good afternoon once again. I'm standing before you here as the most unlikely person to address this meeting, this great summit, that I counted about 20 countries that are represented here. And I am very delighted. I say unlikely because I'm not necessarily an expert on issues to do with drug and substance abuse, but as a government spokesperson, the official government spokesperson, then one of the things that I do, and Kevin was telling me, is that you should be able to know almost every other topic and speak like an expert without flinching. Thank goodness that there are written speeches, and then of course camouflage, maybe the depth of knowledge. And of course, if you are to use an AI to generate a speech, there's a way in which it doesn't sound human. You know, we are here. Welcome to Kenya. It's a beautiful country, and I'm very happy that you decided to come to this place. In this All Saints Cathedral, as George has said, it's very historical. And so in this hall here that we are celebrating this unity, I was asking my brother, who is sitting behind me, if you talk about 78% of the world constituted by Africa and Asia, then that's quite fundamental. That's quite fundamental. And I think maybe it started in the West, if at all we can say so. That's debatable though. But now you can see the future of the world is looking like it's in Asia, but it will eventually come to Africa. I've just come from being in Papua New Guinea. I had someone from Australia, and also in Philippines, Manila, in Hong Kong, in also Bangkok. So you can see, you can tell actually the differences. But yeah, you came at a very good time because, as my brother has put across, capturing a vessel that is stateless, you know, with a ton, 1,024 kilograms of methamphetamine, 98% pure, with 6 Iranians, you know, who are being interrogated. I think that exactly underscores the theme of our summit, that drug demand reduction
without borders.
Without borders. It's borderless. So transnational organized crime is critical. It is affecting this sector. It's affecting issues to do with money laundering and illicit financial flows. And it has actually been able to be connected even in overturning the will of the people in democratic countries. Some governments have actually been propped up using some of this illegal, this borderlessness. And so therefore it's extremely important for us to think of ways in which then we reduce the demand for these drugs, that people are actually going to see them as part and parcel of their society. I was actually debating whether, of course, we need to move the conversation to also being addicted online. And I was wondering whether it should also fit here as some kind of a drug, because I think now this addiction has been codified through clicks and baits and all of that. And maybe that's a forte for other agencies and other summits. But it is important maybe to also underscore and study the correlation, the covariance, the intersectionality of these two is a derivative of the other. It is an honor and privilege to address you this distinguished august gathering. Afri-Asia Summit on Drug Demand Reduction Without Borders, a forum that symbolizes our shared commitment to a healthier, safer, and more resilient world. This summit brings together nations from 2 continents, actually more than 2 continents, that have faced the complex challenges of substance abuse and its devastating impact on families, communities, and economies. Yet it also brings together our collective resolve to work collaboratively, grounded in science, human rights, and solidarity, to prevent and reduce the demand for drugs across borders. Distinguished delegates, Afri-Asia Summit resonates deeply with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly SDG 3, to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being of all at all ages, and more specifically Target 3.5, which calls upon nations to strengthen the prevention and treatment of substance abuse, including narcotic drug use and harmful use of alcohol. In accordance with the Constitution of Kenya 2010, particularly Articles 10 on national values and principles, Article 21, Article 27, Article 43 and 55, the state has an obligation to promote and protect the right to health, ensure social justice, and safeguard youth and vulnerable populations from harmful practices, including substance abuse. Drug demand reduction is therefore a constitutional duty integral to realizing the highest attainable standard of health, human dignity, and sustainable development for all Kenyans. Drug demand reduction is also an isolated issue. It is integral to achieving universal health coverage, which is one of the 5 pillars of the Better Plan, which is our manifesto and also within our medium-term plan 4 of the Kenya Vision 2030, to raise this country from a least developed country to a lower middle income economy. Social justice and inclusive development are also critical in ensuring that we get to that end. When people suffering from substance use disorders receive timely, affordable, and stigma-free care, we take a decisive step towards leaving no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens of the world, the government of Kenya remains steadfast in its commitment to a drug-free, productive, and healthy society, guided by the National Policy for Prevention, Control, and Mitigation of Alcohol and Drug Abuse, the NACADA Strategic Plan, and the Kenya Mental Health Policy. We are strengthening systems for prevention, early intervention, treatment, and recovery. Our government's approach is anchored in 4 pillars. Number 1, evidence-based prevention, ensuring that policies and programs are informed by reliable data and proven methodologies. Number 2, integrated treatment and rehabilitation, aligning with the principles of universal health coverage to make services accessible to all, irrespective of geography or economic status. Number 3, community empowerment and participation, recognizing that sustainable change begins at the grassroots. Here we say at the bottom of the pyramid. And number 4, cross-sectional partnerships, because no single entity can address the challenge alone. You know, when I was in the civil society, we used to have a situation where you talk about your organization and you say Kenya National Drug Association. It covers the whole world, yet you have a single office there in Nairobi. So no single entity can work alone. In fact, in Kiswahili we say in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, kidole kimoja hakiui chao. We are investing in capacity building, empowering practitioners, counselors, law enforcement educators, and community leaders with knowledge and tools to respond effectively. Distinguished delegates, the government of Kenya emphasizes the role of research and professional practice. Research remains the cornerstone of innovation in drug demand reduction, data-driven decision-making that allows us to identify trends, assess vulnerabilities, and evaluate what works. We must continue to strengthen collaboration between research institutions, professional bodies, and policymakers, ensuring that interventions are both context-specific and globally informed. Professionals in health, psychology, social work, and public policy play a vital role in translating research into practice, designing prevention strategies, recovery programs, and social reintegration initiatives that uphold human dignity and equity towards the enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all. In the spirit of inclusivity, Kenya's intervention focuses on targeting vulnerable populations. As we pursue these goals, we must not forget the most vulnerable amongst us, that is the youth, as represented by that beautiful girl who was here, women, refugees, and persons with disabilities. They often face multiple layers of vulnerability, including stigma, exclusion, and limited access to services. Our policies and programs must therefore be inclusive, disability responsive, gender sensitive, and youth empowering. By addressing the social determinants of health, poverty, unemployment, trauma, and lack of education, we reduce not just the demands for drugs, but also despair that fuels it. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, community ownership and sustainable financing is key. Effective prevention and treatment depend on community ownership. Families, faith-based organizations, and community-based organizations are the first line of defense against substance use. We must therefore invest in community structures, local leadership, and mentorship networks that reinforce protective factors and resilience. At the same time, we must advocate for sustainable financing of prevention and treatment. Short-term projects cannot win a long-term war. Integrating drugs demand into national budget for health, insurance schemes, and public-private partnership will ensure continuity, scalability, and impact. Africa-Asia Summit delegates, I call upon all of us to have a shared responsibilities. The challenge before us transcends geography, politics, and culture. The fight against drug abuse is not a competition between continents, but a collaboration across humanity. Let this summit mark a new chapter, one where Asia and Africa, Africa and Asia stand together in solidarity, guided by evidence, compassion, and a shared vision for a generation free from the harms of substance abuse. The government of Kenya reaffirms its commitment to working with all partners represented here in research, policy, prevention, and care to turn these commitments into concrete measurable action. Together, let us build a future without borders, without stigma, and without despair. A future defined by hope, health, and human dignity. Thank you, and God bless. Now, it is a custom. I think we put the cart before the horse, but it's okay. It is now time to say the obvious. But before I do so, let me share two quotes. If you follow my socials, you'll see I write something called Isaac Maura Speaks. These are my small nuggets of wisdom reflecting on my journey as a leader. For those of us who are in Kenya, you know, I've been an advisor to the Prime Minister, may his soul rest in peace, Raila Amolo Odinga. I've been a member of the National Assembly. I've been a senator and now government spokes. So one of the things that I've come to reflect upon the life of Right Honorable Raila Odinga, because I have worked with him for about 10 years, is as follows. That the legacy of a true leader is accumulated over a lifetime and cannot be tied to a position that is only but transient. Let me repeat. The legacy of a true leader is accumulated over a lifetime and cannot be tied to a position that is only but transient. Number two, which is the last one, the tenure of a true leader is limited. Those many and few remarks, and now we should declare this conference, summit, officially open. Makofi!
Okay. Announcement to make, but I don't want you to go. You know, government, when it sits down, it's very difficult to tell them to rise up again. So I have 2 or 3 announcements to make. One, we will break for tea and we will also break for lunch. So we'll combine 2 together. Make sure you are fed well because according to us, where I'm coming from, food is the #1 priority. So we'll break for tea and then we'll take lunch. I will expect each and every one of you to be in either this room or the other room at 1:30. So you have enough time to socialize, network, and do the necessary. We'll invite Nkatha to take charge and then we'll see what next. Okay.
Us and the insights. So I'll ask George.
Make sure I'm brown in that photo. Next time when I'm looking for government job.
Dear Honorable, we will request a photo after we can be able to have Dr. Omerikwa also join us on stage to receive an award, which will be given to him by Ishmael of Blue Cross, Kenya. Let's give him a hand. Thank you so much, Dr. Omerikwa. He is the CEO and he has been working relentlessly. Let's give them a big hand. We also want to appreciate Lucy Gatti, who has also shared what they're doing to protect the child, and she has been able to offer the speech this morning. Let's give her a hand. Thank you so much. This certificate will be issued by Catherine Mudiani from SAPTA College, which is a partner of this summit. Let us give her a hand. We also want to appreciate Gilbert Biwott from the same organization because they sent a team. We really do appreciate the CEO as well. Let's have him have a certificate issued by Dr. Pamela of the Institute of Substance Use Prevention Professionals. Let's give him a hand. we want to appreciate a keynote presentation that was offered by a man so passionate about drug prevention. And he mentioned he has worked with the White Houses for 3 terms. What a privilege to have him in our midst. So Dr. Kevin Sabet, kindly come and get a certificate that will be handed to you by Benjamin of SCAD Kenya. Let's give him a hand. I hope we have strategies. All these people who we are mentioning, I hope we will not let them leave without exchanging contacts and making sure you can maximize all the networks that are in this room today. Let's give him a big hand again, Dr. Kevin Sabet. We also want to appreciate Colombo Plan. They are the ones who have been able to equip us with knowledge and skills. And George Morimi was able to take us through that session this morning, and we look forward to the breakout in the plenary later on to hear what he has to say. So George, please come on stage. You will be awarded your certificate by Dr. Susan Gitau from Elewa Ulevi. That is Swahili to mean understand addiction. Not learn how to get. Thank you so much, Mr. George. Wow. And I'm truly honored to also call this distinguished guest to the stage this afternoon, to receive an award, Dr. Rogers, an amazing leader, our neighbor from Uganda. You are an enigma in the field. There are many people who are registering and they were saying, we have to come and listen to our leader. They're coming from Zambia. They're saying you taught them. So really, we do appreciate that you made time to come. And I know we will be engaging during this 3-day event. To give him his award, we would like to call upon Sonali from APAR Foundation. Let's give her a hand. And finally, kindly let's give them a big hand. And now we request a group photo, kindly. If we can have Honorable Dr. Sir Isaac Maura join us on stage with our... Can we do a group photo from the outside, please? So that we can have all the delegates, all the speakers in that picture. And note... Okay. We make decisions on our toes. Let us do the picture for the distinguished guests on the stage with this background. So kindly, Honorable Dr. Isaac Maura, Dr. Orlando Sabet, all the speakers for this morning. We also have a distinguished guest from Nigeria. He's the advisor to the governor of Kwara State. Please join us on the stage. We have Mr. Musa from Jordan. We have Dr. Titus from India. Please do come to stage and we can have a group photo. And what do we say? You know, they say cheese, but here we will say, what do we say? Drug prevention without borders? It's too long? Oh, Nikosoba. Okay. Ishmael, we have also representation all the way from Norway. Please join us on stage, kindly. Thank you very much. Then we can proceed outside for a group photo. All delegates will receive a certificate of participation as well at the end of the summit.